What's up, my sword and knife friends? How you doing, guys? Thank you for joining me. This is Joe, Steel, Forge, and Fire. This is more specifically geared towards my crazy sword buddies there. Because this is, you can call this a sword showcase, but more per se, it is an answer to the videos that have been going around of 5 knives that make me happy. So I wanted to do 4 swords that make me happy. It's actually 5 because there's one honorable mention that I have to throw in because this was extremely difficult for me to kind of narrow down because I really do love all my katana. First off, a message to our veterans. Veterans, there is a place for you here and in our entire sword and knife community. If you are in despair, please seek a number in my description. Seek help from a friend, a family member if you are in despair, because 22 veterans of today take their own lives. It's a horrible statistic, and we're trying to really grow awareness. That's all we can do, is grow awareness in this channel and let people know the problem is out there. We need to take care of this. So that's what we're trying to gear on this channel and on many channels along the whole spectrum of swords and knives. Now, as you can see, my particular shirt is a 22 a day shirt, and it has all the information, you know, as far as the 22 veterans a day take their own lives. It's a wonderful shirt, and this is from, where is it actually on this side? This is from the Valhalla Project, okay? And this is also a shout out to the Valhalla Project. Valhalla Project is a company that provides shirts and different types of apparel that you can purchase, and the proceedings of the purchases goes to helping out veterans and their families, especially for making up some beautiful memorials and plaques for families of deceased loved ones. And they do some beautiful things for veterans. They endorse wounded warriors. They endorse 22 a day, which this is a really wonderful shirt. I really love their apparel. Apparel. I really do love their apparel. Actually, I have a couple more shirts that I ordered from them. They really do have beautiful shirts, guys. I mean, this is actually something with the American flag on there. Okay, beautiful shirt. Again, on the patch it always says the Valhalla Project. Okay, that's one. And then you have it. They have so many different colors, all in red with some black imprint, or red, white, and blue imprint. I mean, they have some really, really beautiful shirts. And it's a great way to kind of give to a worthy cause to help out our veterans, but also have some really kick-ass shirts, okay? If you're looking to purchase from them, my only advice is they do run small. So if you're normally a large, get an extra large, or if you're normally an XL, get an XXL, you know, so on and so forth, because they do run a little bit more snug. So, you know, if you're looking like our guy Pistol Pete, okay, with the guns and all that, you know what I'm saying, a tight fit will look good. But if you want to have something a little looser and you'll normally have a certain size, get a size larger, because they will tend to shrink when you wash them. So definitely get a size larger if you're looking to purchase from them. But like I said, it is really a great way for you to give back to our veterans. Let's put our money where our mouth is. We endorse them. We love our vets, but this is a great way to give back and also have a really kick-ass shirt in the process. So I'm going to be wearing these Valhalla Project shirts on as many videos as I can. I love this one because basically it's exactly the premise of my channel at 22 a day for our veterans. So yeah, seek them out. Valhalla Project. Look them up online. Take a look at their clothing. Clothing line is really nice, very high quality shirts and hats and things like that. That rhymes. And you definitely be helping out the veterans and their families at the same time. So it's kind of a win-win situation. So guys, this is, like I said, sort of a short sword showcase here today. And but I wanted to actually answer, like I said, to give you my 4 swords that make me happy. Now, what does that mean, 4 swords that make me happy? Okay. A sword makes me happy if it's aesthetically pleasing, if it's aesthetically accurate to a reproduction of a real Nihanto, a real Japanese sword, or a historical Japanese sword. It doesn't have to be a specific type of build that has to imitate an actual sword, historical significance, but it has to be built in accordance to what a traditional Japanese Nihanto sword would have looked like and how it's built and how it feels and how it handles. So the aesthetics is definitely one of them, one of the factors that would make me happy, with the katana that I am able to acquire, hold, and use. Now, a little side note as far as the cheaper quality katanas, okay? The sub $100 katanas. Now, those katana, my gripe with a katana that's a sub $100 sword, okay? It may be sharp out of the box. It may look like a katana, but it's not, okay? It's all imitation stuff. It's not built in accordance to what a quality sword should be built as. You may be able to take it and do some light cutting with it, which I recommend. If you just got into the craft of wanting to do tamashigiri or wanting to, play with swords in your backyard for backyard practice cutting and all that, I would recommend maybe getting like a beater sword. Musashi makes like a $50 beater sword that really takes some abuse. It's great. Won't last you that long, and you really can't hit hard targets with it. Now, my concern is also the safety factor. A sub $100 sword is not built solidly. It doesn't have a real good tang or a good build in terms of the suka and the habaki and everything that built around a katana that makes it a more reliable weapon or a more reliable tool to be doing cutting with. So if you're taking a sub $100 sword and you're doing some heavy cutting with it, there is a chance that the handle will break off, the handle will crack, and there is even a chance, if you abuse it too much, that the sword can fly off the handle and become like a projectile of death, okay? So there is a safety issue that is concerned with these very cheap sub $100 swords. Now, if you just want to have a katana just to kind of use as a statue and put on a mantle and say, oh yeah, look, it looks like, it's a katana, I like the look of it. Some of them have some really good looks with it from afar. They really do look nice, okay? If you're looking just to collect something, just to have it and set as a decoration on your mantle or your wall, you can pretty much get any katana. But if you're really looking to use it, cut with it, and I would say go with a katana with a reputable company that's built well. Somewhere between, I'm not talking about spending thousands of dollars, guys. I mean, we're talking about, pretty much all my swords here that I'm showing you here, they're all between the $200 and $400 price range. They're not very, very expensive in accordance to what katana prices go for. I mean, it's a very moderate type of price, and you're getting a really good quality piece, built well, great steel, great heat tempering, durable, will stand through all the targets that you're looking to cut with. Some do better than others, obviously. That's what they're built for. But I would recommend, if you're looking to use it and you're looking for a quality piece that is aesthetically pleasing and aesthetically accurate to what a katana or a Japanese Nihanto should look like in terms of a replica, then I would say go with a price range between $200 and $400, okay? You should be safe there. Obviously, some companies do it better than others, but that's the price range you should go with. So if you're just looking to basically put it on a wall and not use it, sub $100 sword is fine. But if you are looking to use your katana, I do not recommend any sub $100 katanas because there is a safety issue there, and you're not going to be happy. If you're looking for something that really is aesthetically pleasing and you want it to look like a real beautiful replica of a real Nihanto, you won't be happy with it, okay? And with closer examinations, you'll see all of the imperfections and all of the corners cut in making these very budget-style katanas, okay? They're good for some people. They're good for starter swords, but be very careful with them and be very careful what you cut with them and who's around you when you cut. So that's a word of warning, okay, in the sub $100 sword market. So let's get to it, guys. This was very difficult in terms of me trying to kind of narrow down. I don't have a ton of swords. I trade in swords, I buy and I sell swords, I give swords away. So I don't have a ton of swords at any given time. I'm always having swords coming in and going out and things like that. So I may have to revisit this particular video a couple different times, or I can revisit it a couple different times, which I'm sure you can do with, with a knife, guys. as they acquire new knives, I mean, there'll be another one that makes them happy or is their favorite, okay? So, first sword, okay, that I wanted to show you, okay, is really one of my favorites, guys, okay? This is a sword from Swords of Northshire, okay? Aesthetically, I really love this sword. If you guys know my channel, I am a sucker for freaking black and red. Okay, those are my colors. That's my jam. I love those colors. And they executed this so extremely well. I mean, if you look at the saya, if it's coming out on the picture here, it is really a beautiful, beautiful painted saya. Okay, it's got like a red base, you know, a little bit, slight gloss with some black streaks on it. I mean, they did a bang out job in terms of how this saya looks. Okay, it's got a little design of like birds on a tree, on a branch and stuff like that. It really is a beautiful, beautiful saya. I'm very happy with how it fits. There's no wiggle. It was fit perfectly. This was the particular sword that if you watch my live video, that I actually serviced it on camera, where I replaced the Suba that was a little loose, and I kind of filled in the gaps a little bit, and it's completely tight now. It's perfectly fine. There's no rattle. There's nothing. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so if I open this up, so why do I like this? Why does this make me happy? It makes me happy because aesthetically, it's a beautiful sword. It's a 1095 mono steel construction. It's actually differentially hardened. Okay, where you have the Mune has more of a softer steel, and the Ha, or the sharpened edge, has more of a harder, okay, a harder edge. Okay, so it'll take a hit, it'll take a slight bend without it pretty much breaking for the most part. And I have really used this very well, and it's really straight. It's been handling very well. I like it because aesthetically, I feel like it's close to a replica of a real Japanese Nihanto katana. It's built very well. The Samigawa, everything is very tight fittings. The Suba and all that could be, you know, a little bit gory and stuff like that. It's a little bit muddy for the most part. I do like the whole dragon theme of the sword. This actually says on the sword, I don't know if you can see it, it actually says Dragon Fire. And then on the other side, in kanji writing, in Japanese writing, and on the other side, it has like a little Oriental dragon, okay, flying around. So I really like how they were able to take care of this and put, you know, whatever I wanted onto the sword. But very tight. It handles extremely well. It really does. It handles extremely, extremely well. Okay, it's very nimble in the hand, very easy to manage. Okay, switch sides and stop. It's really a very well handling sword. Okay, so this is aesthetically, the look and feel of it is my favorite. It's great steel. 1095 is great steel for a katana. Okay, and after cutting with it, I haven't seen any rolls, dents, or dings or anything like that. It came with a very, very sharp edge. All I did was kind of just put it on like some fine stropping belts to hone in a little bit, and stropped it, obviously, you know, whenever possible. But I never had a need to basically reprofile this out of the box. This thing came really, really sharp. Okay, and I've been very, very happy and pleased with it. This is just one of my favorites. I just love the look of it. I love how the build quality of it, aside from, you know, me having to adjust it, which is normal. Listen, when you have a katana, you have to understand that you're going to be have to learn how to adjust certain things. With cutting and the vibrations, certain things get a little bit loose and dislodged, but they are pretty much easy fixes as long as everything is fitted in the Nakago and the tang very well from the get-go. They're not very hard fixes. So that's the testament of a quality made sword, that you can cut with it and it'll hold up to all your tasks and what you're doing. Obviously, you're not going to be cutting cement with this. You're not going to be breaking this into cement. You're not going to be cutting really hard bamboo, even though they advertise it with it. But the thin profile of the Shinogi Zukuri doesn't lend to that really, really heavy cutting, at least on this sword anyway. But tatami, pool noodles, hard plastic water bottles, caps. I mean, I went through all of this with this thing, and it's been really, really good. So this is a Swords of Northshire. This is definitely one sword that makes me very, very happy. So let's put that inside there. You know, bullhorn, everything is just exactly what you would want to see in a katana. So this is one of my favorites, and this is one sword that makes me happy. Okay. Next sword I have here, okay, we'll get to the honorable mention in a second, okay. Next sword I have here is a Hanwei, okay. This is a Hanwei Raptor, it's from the Raptor series, okay. This particular sword is a Unokubi Zukuri architecture, which is a really classic, beautiful architecture for a blade, okay. It's got a Hishime saya, okay, doesn't show any fingerprints. It's got a really beautiful painted saya, okay. A little bit of a rattle. I mean, they could have done a little bit better job with that, but it's got a much longer suka or ska handle that I really like. I think it's about a 13-inch handle, which is great. It's got everything is kind of a raptor, you know, bird of prey, raptor theme in terms of the Suba and the Kashira and the Fuchi and all that. And I really love the whole theme of the whole Raptor series. And it's very tight, very comfortable in the hand. It's got a wider Suka that just, for some reason, just fits really well in the hand. And it's very, very manageable. So, listen, Hanwei, it's not by chance that two swords in my list here are Hanwei, because Hanwei really, for a production company, they do a really, really nice job in making some really beautiful quality swords, okay? They don't have all the crazy frills of some of the custom companies and things like that. A lot of their pieces are unique, but they do a great job, and Hanwei's always done a great job in their casting of their pieces. They're pretty unique in terms of some of the castings they have, some of them, not all of them. But they build really solid swords. They really do. They're built to work. They're built to cut. They're built to last. I have actually no problems in cutting with this sword. This is actually, it's a long blade. I think it's about 28 point something, but the handle makes it just such a very large, stout sword in the hand. But with the Unokubi Zukuri, in terms of how it's cut, and how it's beveled and how it skins out and then goes into a diamond in the front. I mean, look up, you know, Unokubi Zukuri, it just makes it for a very light and nimble sword where the point of balance really comes in at around 4 inches, okay, which is pretty close to the handle. So you have very good control. I don't have a high ceiling here. You have very good control of the tip, okay. This is actually even more nimble than the swords in Northshire sword because of the Unokubi Zukuri architecture, and it's a longer sword, much more of a stouter sword. But the thinning out of the bevels of the steel just makes it so freaking balanced, okay? Really comfortable hand. I do like a long suka, a long ska, a long handle, okay, because I feel like I have more control in terms of the stopping of the sword, okay, and the control to be able to switch sides. I can't really go too nuts here because I'm going to put some more holes in my ceiling. But it is really a beautiful sword. It's a through hardened blade, which means it's a mono steel. It's all completely through hardened, the same type of steel, hardened of the steel throughout the entire blade. It is really, it's a sort of a spring steel on this as well, but it's through hardened spring steel, so you notice there's no hamon. The only thing I did with this, I did reprofile it. I wanted to make it a little bit sharper. It was sharp out of the box, but I wanted to physically get the sharper, and it actually cuts like a dream now. It is really a pleasure to cut with this. Again, build quality is excellent, solid, no movement of the Nakago or the tang in between. The sword has no chips or dips. It handles all of my targets really well. It just feels so good in the hand as you're cutting. It's so easy to stop, okay, in the middle, at the end of a cut. It is really one of my favorite handling swords, if not my favorite handling sword out of pretty much all of my mix. And it's, I give credit to the architecture of the Unokubi Zukuri, and I give credit to the craftsmanship of Hanwei. I mean, listen, this is like a sub $300 sword. It may be a little bit more now, but when I had acquired it, it was a sub $300 sword. It's not a very expensive sword, and you're getting so much value in some of the Hanwei products for your swords. And people knock production lines like they're not very good quality, but they actually, Hanwei is an exception. They have some really good production quality swords, and I don't really have any complaints with the fit and finish or anything about it for the most part. And it's done what I want it to do. It works for me, and it looks really good. I mean, this sword really does make me happy. I love everything about it, and this is definitely had to make the list. So Hanwei Raptor Unokubi Zukuri. Is it perfect? No. None of these swords are perfect, guys. You want a perfect sword, you got to spend in the thousands, but there's no need for it, because perfection of, in one person's eyes is it is not a deal breaker for most people. So for the most part, spending that much on a sword, it will still give you a high quality sword. You just got to be selective. You got to watch my channel and watch my reviews and get my recommendations and from my personal experience and others, of course, and make the best decision from there. Okay, so my next sword, and if you guys saw my short, it was a short video that I posted last night or this morning, I actually gave you a sneak peek of one sword that actually was making my list, okay? And I have been wanting my Practical XL, my Practical line from Hanwei for a very long time before I physically was able to get it. This is the Practical XL from Hanwei, okay? This is probably one of the most wanted swords on the market, okay? They're very hard to get. They have been made in short supply, or maybe just the demand is so high they can't keep up with it. But this is a very hard sword to get. When I saw it available at I think it was Sword and Armory I purchased it from, I grabbed it, and then literally after I purchased and put it into my cart, it was already sold out. So I kind of grabbed the last two. There was two more left. I grabbed one, and then I checked the next in an hour, and it was already sold out on the second one. So as soon as these swords come in, they go out, and for good reason, guys. If you want a tough bastard sword, okay, if you want a tough ass freaking katana, this is definitely what you want to get, okay? It is built so strong and so well that it's a pleasure to cut with. Now, listen, it's not for like the speed cutters, okay, for the guys that want to do like the quick movements, back and forth, because it is a heavy sword. But, listen, if you're strong enough, you can handle it. I have no problem handling this. I'm not a big, strong guy, but I'm pretty strong. But I have no problem handling it because I think it's just, even with the weight, it's balanced so well. It's got about a 5-inch POB, point of balance, and it does a very good job. Listen, it's aesthetically, it doesn't have a lot of frills. It's got very plain fittings, a very plain iron tsuba. But I like the look of this sword for the fact that it just, it kind of feels like something very traditional, something that kind of was, made off the line, for the normal samurai that was kind of just, they were spitting out swords for battle and stuff. No frills, but just something that's built solid and built to cut. Okay, so you can notice even before I show you the sword, the width of the saya enclosing the blade. It's a very wide blade, okay? And that's what makes it very heavy. So the highlight of the sword, okay, is the steel, okay? It's, like I had mentioned, it's a 1566 blade steel, okay? I don't know what the architecture is. I think it's its own architecture from Hanwei. I mean, if you notice how wide the blade is, it's actually like an inch, 0.46, almost an inch and a half width from the habaki or from the motohaba, and that pretty much is the same width all the way down to the point. It only goes down about maybe 2/4 of an inch. It's almost the same width all the way down, and that just makes it for a really good cutter. Really thickness in the mune or the spine. I think it's about 0.26 inches, okay, the thickness, but it is just a very strong and stout sword. Like I had mentioned, okay, in the other video, I have seen Backyard Knife Dude Ken cut cinder block with this thing, okay? He basically turned it by its spine, and he actually broke cinder block in half with it, in pieces. He just pulverized it, okay, with the spine of the blade, obviously. And that was his particular Practical XL he's been using for many years, so it has its own share of abuse that he's been given to it. And even after all that, and after going into a cinder block, it still broke the cinder block in half, and he didn't see any really, other than probably scratches, no deformations, no bends, no breaks, no chips. That's how strong the blade and the construction of this sword is. It is really one of a kind. It really is an anomaly in terms of the strength of this Practical XL. It's kind of legendary, to be honest with you. I mean, you can see how stout and beautiful this blade is, okay? But I did cutting sessions with it, guys, and I gotta tell you, you know, you hold it the way you're holding a katana, it is really freaking balanced, okay? As stout as this sword is, it's incredibly balanced, okay? It's very easy to move, very nimble, okay? It is heavy. I mean, if you're doing a lot of no-toe or a lot of lido with this, you're definitely going to get tired. That's not really what it's made for. It's made to work. It's made to cut. It's made to cut hard bamboo. It's made to cut soft bamboo. It's made to go through tatami like it's basically not even there. It's made to be able to go through very hard plastic bottles. It's made to have fun with, okay? And this is why this is pretty much one of my favorite katana for that reason, okay? It's not the lightest and most nimble sword in the world. It's not for all, but if you want to have something to have fun with and really push the envelope with this thing, this is definitely it. Hanwei Practical XL. I am going to be doing some tests where I'm going to be cutting some 2x4s with it and seeing how it does. I am going to take it to a cinder block one day. Not right now because I'm afraid because I love it so much, but I definitely will one day. But I'm going to be doing a lot of tests and I'm going to have a lot of fun with this sword on camera. So this sword definitely makes me happy, and for very, very good reason as well. And it happens to be another Hanwei, another very good Hanwei product. It's still very, very sharp out of the box, even after the cutting. It's really a wonderful, wonderful sword. A very tough bastard katana sword. I love it, okay? So there is my, is that number 2? Yeah, I guess, no, that's number 3. All right, so my 4th one, okay? I know this video is running long, guys. Stick with me. My 4th one is, I have an honorable mention, and I have my 4th sword, okay, that really makes me happy, okay? So let me just go with the honorable mention first, okay? This is one of the swords that I acquired from SinoSwords Jaku Swords. This is really one of my favorite swords from them, okay? Beautiful leather-wrapped handle, panel ray skin, leather-wrapped handle, but it fits very tight in the hand. The ito doesn't move at all. Beautiful castings, okay, like a flower and palm tree castings. Very, very good quality castings, very tight, and really beautifully made saya. A couple little chips and dips and things like that. It's not perfect, but I love this like cracked fire, type of saya. It is really beautiful. Nice quality sageo. Bullhorn, really beautiful brown bullhorn. Okay, around the koiguchi and a korigata and a kojiri. It's really, really freaking beautiful. I love this sword. This is a stout sword, guys. This is heavy. This is actually a heavier sword than the Practical XL, and the Practical XL has a wider blade. It's just a lot of steel on this blade. It's also a much longer blade. It's a 30-inch blade, which is longer than the Practical, and it actually has a longer handle. The handle, I think, is about 12 inches, so it's a really stout sword. This is also a very heavy cutter, okay? This is a T10 differentially hardened steel. Excuse the oil, guys. I just don't feel like greasing it up again. That's why I'm not even touching it. Okay, it's got a really nice hamon. Okay, I'll probably show you some B-roll. I think you can see the hamon in this shot here. Okay, it's a glossy blade. It's got an okisaki tip, which is elongated tip, which I really love the look and aesthetics of that. Again, look-wise, this really feels and looks like a Japanese style Nihanto. It's built very, very well. Okay, it's got great pieces on it. This is a custom sword from Jaku, so I picked everything about it. I even picked it to be as heavy and as solid as I wanted it to be. And it's got really good T10, high quality steel. The heat tempering was great. I did a lot of cutting with this thing through tatami. It does it like a dream, just like the Hanwei Practical XL. This is definitely an honorable mention, okay, in terms of a really job well done from Jaku SinoSwords, and the fact that it's a custom sword and it's my own, okay. But it just, when you cut with this, it's stout. But when you finally get through a cut with this thing, it is really freaking. It feels good to cut with this sword. It's a lot of fun. This is definitely a fun, very well built sword as well, and I love the freaking look of it. I love the fit and finish. that JQ did on it. I love the handle, the leather wrap handle. It is really beautiful. Okay, so this is definitely has to be an honorable mention, but it's not. It doesn't make the list of the sword that makes me happy, but it definitely has to be mentioned because it was a very hard decision that I had to make with this next sword. So my final sword, okay, is my JQ Hira Zukuri architecture sword. I love the clean finish bamboo look, okay, bleached bamboo varnish, light varnish look of the saya. I love the contrast between the white saya and the brown bullhorn, okay? Transitions are not absolutely perfect, but they're as good as they're going to be. You have the Korigata, okay, bullhorn, the Kojiri bullhorn. I love the contrast of the brown bullhorn. Sageo wrap is pretty good quality, and it fits so well. No wiggle, no rattle. I mean, this is probably the best fit and finish I own personally right now of a katana, and this was by special request that I made with JQ because they redid another sword of mine that is actually is another project that I am working on, and that's going to be coming in, and that's why I need to redo this video because that's one of my favorites. That was a Chiorboyz style blade, a folded steel blade, which the aesthetics on the wood grain and the look and the aesthetics of the blade are beautiful. I just wanted to redo it, refurniture it, and that's going to be a sword project that's coming to you guys soon, and that's why I'll redo this video after I introduce that as well one day. So this video can be done over and over again. So why do I love this sword? It's a full wrap semigawa, which means it's just incredibly tight and solid, okay, in terms of the wood core wrapping up the full semigawa or the ray skin. It's a really high quality ray skin. I'm sure you'll see some B-roll, okay. It's got a battle wrap. It's called type of Ito, okay, with the Manuki in the middle, which is I love because you're not holding the Manuki in your hand. There's nothing abstracting or feeling in your hand. I just love the battle wrap type of look, and it's just an incredible fit and finish. It really is. It's and again, the blade is gorgeous. The blade is gorgeous. It's a cosmetic polish. You can see the hamon, how prominent it is because of the polish. It's not that it's fake, okay? It's a real, beautiful, differentially hardened blade, T10, with an Okazaki tip, okay? It's the cosmetic polish that you're able to put on these blades that make it look more of like a traditional katana, and that's why I absolutely love this sword and why it makes me happy. The aesthetics are beautiful. The fit and finish is some of the best I've ever seen after assembling and disassembling and cutting with it. It is such a beautiful, beautiful sword, and it is also, the Hira Zukuri is also a very light and nimble and very manageable, okay, sword, okay? It is really, I mean, you could cut with this thing all day, and it feels so great in your hand, easy to stop, easy to change directions, a great trick cutter. Hira Zukuri, if you guys, my sword guys, know what a great architecture for cutting the Hira Zukuri is, okay? It's a straight V shape. You know, it has a double bow high, which is great, which makes it even lighter in the hand. It is just really one of my favorites. I always say one of my favorites because I love all my swords, so I never could say this is my favorite sword because I love my swords for all different reasons, but this is definitely one of my favorite swords. It's also wide. Okay, you notice the width of the blade all the way down to the Okazaki. It is really a beautiful sword. Light and nimble, looks great, feels great, made to cut, made to use, and will stand, you know, the abuse in a reasonable fashion. Okay, I won't cut any hard targets with this because it will bend, okay, if you stress it too much. But, you know, there's an application for every sword. But for all the above reasons, this is definitely has to make the list of a very well done sword from JQ SinoSwords. So that is my list, guys. Okay, so but before you go, I just want to let you know that I'm going to have to revisit, okay, this particular video because I have two swords coming in. One I'm very excited about from Skyjiro and one from Huawei. Now, if you knife guys think waiting 2 months for a sword, for a knife is a long time and it's painful, try waiting 6 months, 7 months, 8 months for a sword. So I'm probably going to be waiting around 7 months before I get to Huawei. It's just that's just how they do work. They're made to order, and they're very high quality products. They're probably one of the best custom forges in Lanquan, China. So I am, you know, it's patience is a virtue in the sword market, guys. You want a quality made product, you have to wait for it, okay? Even the production line, okay, they're always sold out. You always have to wait until they start bringing in the swords in production. This guy Giro, I've been waiting about 5 months. Probably going to be September, October, hopefully. But yeah, I've been waiting a very long time for these two swords. But if they are everything that they're touted out to be, from speaking to ownership and all that of the companies, I think they'll definitely be some of definitely make my list as the two more swords that really make me happy. So I'll revisit this video at some point after I do reviews on those swords. So those are coming in pretty soon as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's long-winded. I know I talk a lot, but that's me. That's my videos. That's why you like me. That's why you love me. So basically, guys, don't forget Valhalla Project. Don't forget 22 a day. Don't forget the apparel from Valhalla Project. You're gonna love. Don't forget about what I mentioned in the beginning of the video as far as what type of sword you should start with, and what type of sword and what price range you should rely on, depending on your usage and what you're looking to depending on what you're looking to do with it. Is it going to sit, or do you want to use it and have fun with it? Okay, so you have to be very careful about these cheap sub $100 swords. Okay, you have to understand what you're looking to, what the end result is, and what is going to be used for. Okay, Blade Talk coming up. Stick around, guys. Blade Talk is coming up. We got a lot of beautiful things, a lot of incredible videos coming up with Blade Talk. Really special guests coming in. I'm so happy to be doing with Scab from ChoirBoyz Cutlery. If you're not subscribed to him, please sub to him. I just also want to take this opportunity to congratulate old Scab at ChoirBoyz Cutlery. I'll leave links to his channel on my descriptions if you're a passer buyer and all that. Definitely sub to him. He just made 2,000 and he's marching to 5,000. I mean, he's doing a great job. I want to congratulate him because he actually he has a partnership with now WTG, the Work Tough Gear, and also Strack HQ, which are incredible knife designers and makers. And he has a partnership with them. It seems like now that he's reviewing their products, and that is with good reason, because his videos have really came leaps and bounds in terms of his last several videos that he's done. In terms of he stapled himself in the knife community as one of the best knife reviewers on YouTube. He really is. He's doing an amazing job in terms of testing the knives, in terms of giving you the information you need to know about the knives and showing you them in action. I mean, I don't know of anybody that does a better job than Scab, okay? Donnie does a great job. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there. But speaking of Scab right now, he is very deserving of this partnership he has with these very prestigious, knife companies and designers, that are coming on board to his channel because they're realizing what a great job he's doing. So definitely, if you're not subbed to ChoirBoyz Cutlery, please sub to him. If you're into knives and you're into buoys and EDCs, machetes, anything with a blade. He's even reviewing katana. He's doing katana cutting with Megatron, which is great when they do their videos together. Everything blade, he does a great job with. I'm very proud of him. Congratulations, Scab. I am very proud. We're all very proud of you, and for your achievements with your channel, and it's how much it's growing, and these huge partnerships that you have coming in. I'm very proud of you, and I'm very happy for you. So that's Scab at ChoirBoyz Cutlery. Great job, my friend. Really great job. And also, in terms of going back to Blade Talk, we got some special guests coming in. We have Karl Ruedger coming in that he's scheduled. We have the two Erics. We're talking about cutting and, the masterful cutting techniques of the two Erics, Eric 117 and Eric Husayn. All links will be in the description, guys, of everyone that I recommend. I can't mention everything, but I'm going to try to put as many links of channels that I really think you should check out in my description. Please don't leave my video until you check out my description. They're coming in, they're scheduled, so when they get aired, basically before they get aired, we'll announce it. Maybe Scab will put it into a community post when those things are going to be aired. And a lot of surprise guests that we're working on that are coming in. So some very exciting things coming to Blade Talk. We actually have a Blade Talk that I'm doing with Scab soon, and we're going to be doing a one-on-one with Scab. And we're going to be talking about blade steels, okay, for knives and swords. And we're going to be talking about the strengths and weaknesses of certain steels and certain reputable companies that are making these steels. Certain companies do a better job in heat tempering their steels, and that's what they're known for. So stick around to Blade Talk. That'll be aired on my channel with Scab. Pleasure to be doing with you, buddy. It's really an honor. And so I'm very excited about that. Very excited about some new offerings coming in. I got some Kukri House videos coming in with some beautiful buoys that I acquired that I'm going to be doing reviews on, D-Bed Designs. So that's coming in. A lot of exciting stuff coming in. I have a Civivi fixed blade review coming in. So I'm talking, but you know, it is going to come eventually. Life happens and you got to kind of find the time for it. So guys, thank you for joining me. Thanks for sitting through all my ramble as always. I love each and every one of you. To all my hardcore subs, thank you for all your support. Thanks for your kind comments and your uplifting comments that you give me. If you are a passive buyer, please sub to my channel, guys. I'm trying to grow, trying to get to that 1,000, elusive 1,000 subscriber mark and above. I'm trying to grow my channel so I can give you more content and I'm able to continue giving you quality content. So please, if you'd be so kind, please sub to my channel and please take a look at all the recommended channels that I have in my description. So without further ado, guys, love you guys. Have a fantastic day. Fantastic night whenever you're watching this. Thank you for joining me. This is Joe from Steel Forge and Fire. Hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed bringing it to you. Peace out, guys. Love you all. Ciao, ciao.